Well, what's up, guys? Ben here bringing another video. I did this before launch week and did like a week ahead preview on like what was going to happen a couple of days after launch and what to look out for. I want to do an update to that video. We're now the week after launch. This is a critical week on a couple of different fronts around the community. So let me break those down for you and what to expect over the next 5 to 6 days. I think something to expect over the next couple of days is potentially a couple of hot fixes and some weapon tuning updates from Infinity Ward. They spent the weekend fixing a couple of scan and repair errors. They haven't yet updated or rolled out their Trello board that they said they were going to roll out around launch time. So I'm on the lookout for that. And again, around this time, we usually get a fix or two to some broken weapons, and we'll get to those maybe later in the video. The second thing is we've got launch tournaments all week, and we already had like a couple. I don't know if y'all, I'm recording this video on Monday morning. I don't know if you guys watched Tommy's stream last night. He was hosting a hilarious tournament with like Kai Cenat, Nathan Ross, Swag and the boys, Face Temper. Like, it was a pretty stacked squad of creators, but this is the first of many sort of creator and other launch tournaments happening over the next couple of days. You've got the Baka Bros S&D tournament today. That one's going to be pretty exciting, as well as you've got a tournament that Florida is running later in the week. Again, another S&D tournament, but a lot of teams in this one, 12 teams, and should be pretty lit. And then finally, coming up this weekend, we actually have a Challengers tournament that's being run by Breaking Point and the Boston Breach crew. Smaller prize pool than the others, but I think this one will be really good going into some of the Challengers Cups that start next week and seeing kind of which amateur teams are kind of top of the ranking. So I think the next big thing on the CDL front is figuring out sort of the V1 rule set. We're getting towards about a month out from the first real competition of the season, at least on the pro side. So they really need a V1 rule set like by the end of this week. So teams can really start scrimming hard next week and have about 4 weeks or so, give or take, until December 2nd, when they're going to start playing matches before Major 1. Teams this weekend already started kind of playing some maps to sort of get used to the game and spawns. You're going to notice a pretty interesting list here of maps. I'm just looking at a sample Boston and Vegas scrim. And you're going to notice there's probably one map that's missing out from this, which is Crown Raceway. It was also known as Grand Prix sort of during the beta alpha stage of the game. Y'all probably seen, during the summer and early fall about how there's some issues with this map because of its inspiration from where the Singapore Grand Prix takes place. The map did make it into the game, and honestly playing it, it's pretty fun. And I've had a lot of enjoyment, especially in pubs and in H trying it out. But apparently there's some sort of legal or licensing issue. The pros were talking about it on stream this weekend, and it seems like right now that might not make the V1 Cup for the rules. Now, this could always get sorted between lawyers and Formula One and all the other kind of parties that may need to weigh in on this one, but at the moment it doesn't look like Marina Bay is going to make the cut. Now, there was some hubbub on Twitter yesterday about maybe Hotel might not also make the cut. This is based on a PC Gamer article that was quoting a article in Dutch that was coming from the hotel that it's inspired by. Really though, if you kind of like scroll down and actually read this article, it says that there is some kind of case law that's already sort of kind of set on this one, and Activision may be sort of protected, at least on the American side. We'll see where this one goes, but I have a feeling like Activision Legal has probably figured out their position at this point. It pretty much reaches the hotels like not super happy about it, but it doesn't sound like a lawsuit is incoming, at least tomorrow. I think that on the hardpoint front, these are probably the 4 maps you're going to start with this season. Form's not on this list, and I think if we wanted to go to 5, or if we're not a big fan of Embassy, which I know some pros are kind of like iffy about, those would be the odd modifications. Those that might be a little bit confused what Las Almas is. That's the Mercado map. I think looking at this map set, Hotel is pretty good, Fortress is pretty good. Mercado's kind of like a little bit quick for our point, but I think it's playable. Embassy might be sort of the iffy one. Farm's also an iffy map too, but I think where the conversation might move next amongst the pros in the league is like, for Embassy and Farm, like what can we tweak? What hills can we remove, and maybe make the map play a little bit better? Let's see how this evolves, but it seems like we've got like 3 pretty solid hardpoint maps, and the 4th is kind of a little bit iffy, which I think we can live with to start the game. I haven't seen a lot of control gameplay, to be honest. It looks like some teams started scrimming it, but I'm going to defer any judgment on it because I haven't played it yet in 8s or really watched any scrims to know like if there's any issues on these control maps. On the S&D front, it's actually a pretty long list of maps that might be playable. Obviously, let's remove Raceway from that list for a second. I think there may be some bomb site tweaks needed on a couple of these maps, but we may have like 4 to 5 pretty solid S&D maps. So I think, look, my overall take is I was expecting worse, to be honest, on the map set. Really struggling to get like kind of 4 maps for hardpoint, 4 for S&D. We might have sort of a weak 4th map in hardpoint if we can't figure out the Raceway situation, but S&D seems really doable. Control, we may end up with 3, which is okay. Let's see where things net out at the end of the week. But I think it's a little bit more optimistic for me on the V1 rule set front. And by the way, I got to say the rule set is already like the base rule set's already in the game if you load up a custom game, as well as seems like Codcast is working. So a lot of the base like CDL stuff is a little bit funky on launch. Seems to be pretty good. The team should be able to get some really good practice here soon to get ready for the season. One more thing before I end this video. Stay tuned to this channel. We're gonna have a little bit of a surprise this week later for you guys. I can't say too much now. I'm really excited about something I'm working on today. Actually, and we'll be talking a little bit about this channel in the coming days, so stay tuned for that. As always, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think is sort of where the map rule set is going? What do you think Activision might need to change with some patches and some tweaks? Did you guys enjoy the Aiden Ross Kai Cenat XQC tournament last night that FaZe Kason was hosting? Let me know what you think and I'll respond to some comments there. As always, guys, like if you like the video, subscribe for more content. I've actually been pushing out a bunch of YouTube short stuff, so check me out there. And as always, guys, we'll see you in the next one.